Aye, mateys, gather round and listen closely to the tale I have to tell. As a captain of the high seas, I've seen many strange and eerie things in my time. But let me tell you, nothing compares to the story of the ghost ship, the Blackwave. It was a dark and stormy night, and my crew and I were navigating through some treacherous waters. Suddenly, through the fog, we saw a ship that we didn't recognize, but something was off about it. The sails were tattered, and the ship looked abandoned. We decided to board her, but as we approached, a sense of dread consumed us. Slowly we made our way across the deck, and as we stepped beneath the mainsail, all of a sudden we were no longer on the deck of the ship. We were in some sort of time warp, with ghostly apparitions of the previous crew floating around us. Some of them seemed to be looking for something, while others pointed and laughed at us. I could feel my crew's fear mounting, and I couldn't blame them. We moved through the ship, trying to find a way back to reality, but the ghostly figures seemed to be guiding us deeper in. Each hallway seemed to lead to a dead end, and we heard strange noises all around us. And then we heard it. A creaking sound almost like metal on metal coming from below our feet. We made our way down to the cargo hold, and that's when we saw the Kraken. It was massive, and it was tearing apart the Blackwave from below. The ship was being ripped to shreds, and we were stuck on it. We could feel the ship starting to sink under the weight of the ancient monster. We tried to fight it off, but it was too powerful. One by one, my crew started to disappear into the depths of the ocean. And then, just as suddenly as it had started, the Kraken vanished. We were left there in the dark, with nothing but the sound of water pouring through holes in the ship. We knew we had to get out, and fast. We made our way up to the deck, and that's when we saw it. The Blackwave was on fire, and there was no saving it. We all managed to make it off the ship, but we knew we'd never forget what we'd seen. The ghostly apparitions, the Kraken, and the Blackwave. It was all more than any of us could handle. So, mates, I implore you, stay away from the Blackwave. You don't want to end up like my crew and I, forever haunted by the things we'd seen. The sea holds many secrets, but some are better left untold. I am a fisherman. It has been my livelihood for over 30 years. I thought I had seen it all, the raging sea, the dangerous storms, and the toughest catches. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened on that dark and fateful night. It was in the middle of December, and the sea was calm. I had anchored my boat and was settling down for the night when I heard a strange noise. It was as if something was calling out to me from the depths of the sea. I tried to ignore it, but the noise only grew louder and more persistent. A few minutes later, I saw something rise from the water. It was a ghostly figure, transparent as if made of mist. It had the shape of a woman, and she was beckoning to me, her arms outstretched. I knew at that moment that I had been cursed. I tried to start the engine and leave, but the boat wouldn't budge. It was as if some invisible force had attached it to the seabed. I could feel the boat rocking, and my heart started pounding in fear. I was stuck there, alone, with nothing but my thoughts and the cursed apparition haunting me. She kept calling out to me, and her voice grew louder and shriller. I was sure I was losing my mind. I tried to stay awake the whole night, but eventually my exhaustion took over and I fell asleep. When I woke up, it was early morning and the sea was calm again. I looked around, and the ghostly woman was nowhere to be seen. As I tried to start the engine again, I saw shadows moving in the water beneath me. It looked like something was circling around the boat. My heart was pounding faster, and chills ran down my spine. Suddenly, the boat started to shake uncontrollably, and I felt a force pulling me towards the water. I tried to hold on, but it was too strong, and I was thrown overboard. As I was dragged into the water, I felt myself being pulled down by something strong. It was like hands reaching out to grab me and take me down to the bottom. I could see the ghostly apparition in front of me, and she was still calling out to me. It was as if she wanted to pull me into the abyss with her. I struggled to break free, but it was hopeless. The more I fought, the tighter the grip became. The water around me turned dark, and I could hear whispers and eerie sounds coming from all directions. I felt like I was sinking into a never-ending darkness. Suddenly I felt a sharp pain in my arm, and I saw something grey and slimy wrapped around me. It was a tentacle, and it was tightening its grip around me. I screamed out, but no one could hear me. I was alone, trapped in the clutches of a ghostly apparition and a sea monster. I woke up the next morning, lying on the shore. I had no memory of how I got there, but I knew that I had been cursed by the sea. To this day, I can still hear the voice of the ghostly woman calling out to me, and I know that someday she will come back to take me down to the depths of the sea. The moon hung low in the ink-black sky, casting an eerie glow over the restless sea. I was alone on my creaking fishing boat, navigating through the dark waters with only the dim light of the lantern guiding my way. The air was thick with a salty mist, and the distant sound of crashing waves echoed ominously. I had heard tales from old seafarers about the mysterious mermaids that inhabited these waters, but I had always dismissed them as the ramblings of sailors lost at sea for too long. Little did I know that this night would become a chapter in my own haunted story. As the night wore on, the wind whispered haunting melodies through the rigging, and the boat bobbed rhythmically with the churning waves. I cast my nets into the abyss, hoping for a bountiful catch to fill my empty hold. The sea, however, seemed to hold its secrets tightly, offering no signs of life beneath its inky surface. As the hours passed, a strange stillness enveloped the ocean, and an eerie silence settled upon my lonely vessel. The only sound was the creaking of the boat, like the ghostly groans of a shipwrecked soul. Unease crept into my bones, but I attributed it to the isolation of the open sea. Suddenly, a faint, haunting melody reached my ears. It was a melodic hum, sweet and alluring, dancing on the edge of the wind. My heart quickened as I strained to identify the source. The ocean seemed to hold its breath, and the only movement was the gentle rocking of my boat. Then, emerging from the velvety darkness, silhouettes of ethereal figures materialized. A soft glow surrounded them, revealing the graceful curves of feminine forms with shimmering scales that sparkled like moonlit diamonds. Mermaids, their hauntingly beautiful faces adorned with flowing hair that trailed in the water. My hands trembled as I clutched the side of the boat, my eyes locked on the mesmerizing beings. They circled my boat with a haunting elegance, their haunting songs weaving into the very fabric of the night. It was as if time itself had stopped, and I was caught in a spectral dance between the mortal and the mythical. One of them, with eyes that gleamed like the abyss, approached the surface, her voice a siren's call that echoed in the recesses of my mind. "Lonely soul," she sang, her voice a haunting lullaby. "Join us in the depths where secrets are kept." Fear clawed at my chest, but an inexplicable pull drew me toward these enchanting creatures. As if in a trance, I reached for the side of the boat, ready to plunge into the unknown depths below. But just as I teetered on the edge, a sudden gust of wind snapped me out of the enchantment. The mermaids' song became distorted, their forms flickering like spectral shadows. Reality crashed back, and I recoiled in horror at the abyssal depths that awaited me. With every ounce of strength I pulled away from the edge, the spell broken. The mermaids wailed, their haunting cries echoing through the night as they vanished into the inky depths. The sea once again became an endless expanse of darkness, devoid of the mysterious allure that had ensnared me. Shaken and breathless, I sailed away from that accursed spot, the memory of the mermaids forever etched into the fabric of my soul. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, I cast a weary glance back at the now tranquil sea. The moonlit glow of the mermaids had faded, leaving only the ripples of the water as a testament to the otherworldly encounter that had unfolded in the heart of the night. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, but the memory of that fateful night continued to haunt my every waking moment. The sea, once a source of livelihood, had transformed into a realm of dread and mystery. I couldn't shake the feeling that the mermaids were watching, their haunting eyes penetrating the veil between the worlds. As time passed, the people in the coastal village noticed the change in me. They saw the weariness etched on my face, the haunted look in my eyes. The other fishermen whispered about the strange occurrences at sea, the unexplained disappearances of boats and men who ventured too close to the mermaids' realm. Superstitions and fear gripped the community, casting a dark shadow over the once thriving fishing village. Haunted by the memory, I couldn't escape the pull of the sea. Night after night, I found myself drawn to the water's edge, staring into the vast expanse that had once been my livelihood. The mermaid's song echoed in the recesses of my mind, a haunting melody that refused to be silenced. One stormy night, as lightning streaked across the sky and thunder roared like an angry beast, I stood on the rocky shore, my gaze fixed on the turbulent sea. The waves crashed violently against the rocks, and the wind howled like a tormented spirit. It was then that I heard it again, the haunting melody of the mermaids, rising above the tempestuous symphony of the storm. Compelled by a force beyond my understanding, I stumbled toward the water's edge. The sea, agitated and frothing, seemed to beckon me into its tumultuous embrace. The mermaids' ethereal forms emerged from the raging waves, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. "Come," they sang, their voices weaving through the storm. "Come and join us in the depths where secrets are kept. A realm of eternal mystery awaits, where mortal worries cease to exist." The villagers, watching from the safety of their homes, saw my silhouette against the tempestuous backdrop. They shouted warnings, pleading for me to turn back, but the pull of the mermaids was too strong to resist. With each step, the water rose higher, the waves embracing me like phantom hands. As I waded deeper into the sea, the storm raged on, reaching a crescendo of chaos and fury. The villagers, fearing the wrath of the mermaids, fell to their knees, praying for my soul. But in that moment, as the sea swallowed me whole, I felt a strange sense of peace. The world above became a distant memory as I descended into the dark abyss. The mermaids, their haunting melodies now a symphony of serenity, surrounded me. We danced in the depths, my earthly worries dissipating like mist in the wind. The secrets of the sea unfolded before my eyes, a tapestry of wonders beyond mortal comprehension. And so my tale becomes one with the whispers of the ocean, lost to the depths where mermaids keep their secrets. The coastal village, forever marked by the tragedy that unfolded that stormy night, returned to a semblance of normalcy. But the haunting melodies lingered, carried by the wind and the waves, a reminder that the sea holds mysteries that defy the understanding of mortal men.